What if Naruto and Gwen were hot couples? Movie 1. So hey guys, it's Bored-kun here. Now let's move on to the story. How ya doing sport? Max said as Naruto climbed into the rust bucket. Hey Max, Naruto said with a smile. Hey Red, he said as he winked at Gwen. Hey Blondie, Gwen said with a smile. So what are we gonna do for food? Naruto asked half serious half jokingly. No idea, Gwen said as she laughed a little. Few hours later. Nice night, Naruto said as he was walking in the woods and soon he saw what he thought was a shooting star but then landed in his general direction. Whoa. He said as he went to see what crashed and when he did he saw a probe, pod kinda thing and when he went down it opened up revealing a black, white, and green wrist strap watch with a green hourglass symbol which jumped right at him latching onto his left wrist and the dial popped up. Cool. He said as he pressed the dial. 30 minutes later. Gramps, look at that thing, I can't just run, Naruto said as he looked at the watch and transformed into a diamond-shaped creature. I'll call this guy Diamond Head. The diamond creature now called Diamond Head said as he examined himself. Be careful Naruto. Max said in worry as Naruto was the son of a close family friend as he saw him as his own grandson. Worry less about me and get those people to safety, I'll handle the robot. Naruto said as he ran head first into danger. Be careful, Gwen thought in worry. Few minutes later. Awesome, Naruto said as he changed back again feeling an incredible rush run through his body. Amazing. How'd you know to send the beam back, and how did you not waste this place? Max asked as Naruto succeeded in stopping the robot without as so much as a branch getting cut off one of the surrounding trees. I don't know, I just went with the flow and everything came naturally, Naruto said as it felt. Natural being something else. Well, I'd say perfect work. You took the bad guy down without blowing anything up. Awesome. Gwen said bumping Naruto's arm. Thanks Red. Naruto said as they hugged. 2 weeks later. Oh, you're funny but I'm gonna get the last laugh Zombozo. Naruto said in calm fury as he saw Gwen aged up seemingly on the verge of death. Just try it kid. I could use a workout after my lunch, Zombozo said laughing loudly. Naruto slammed down on a ghost-like transformation. Sorry kid, I sell the tricks, I don't buy them, Zombozo said. You wanna know something really funny? Naruto said in a dark raspy voice due to his ghost-like alien form. You know what it's like to take from others, I wonder how you'll feel when I take everything from you. You sad crappy version of it, he said as he disappeared. Zombozo felt nervous as the air got cold and he felt a chill run up his spine. There's something I'm scared of more than clowns. Wanna know what it is? Naruto said, still invisible. It's failing my friends and family, and I'm not going to lose them to some goofball emotional vampire, in other words. Naruto then appeared in front of him. You're going down clown, he said punching the clown's nose. Come out and fight freak, Zombozo said as he quivered. Freak? No. I'm a Ghostfreak, Naruto said smacking the clown in the face with a board sending him crashing into his machine freeing the souls. You wanna see something really scary? He said as he ripped off his skin and multiple tentacles shot out in darkness. Zombozo shook in fear and then soon expanded like a balloon and blew up exploding out confetti. Whoa, that kind of even freaked me out, Naruto said as that anger and evil he felt like it was a part of him yet it wasn't all him. This boy. A specter thought as he laughed. I'll free you brother and perhaps have something more, he thought evilly. With Naruto rested in his bed feeling a little uneasy as when he transformed into Ghostfreak it upset him inside and also felt natural in some way. 1 week later, Naruto said as he was on a ship shifting through transformations in slight pain. The surge must have caused the watch to malfunction, Max said as he looked at Naruto change. You think? Ghostfreak said before he changed into Diamond Head. I feel like that time I entered that chili fry eating contest, he said as his body didn't like the shifting from transformation to transformation. You gonna be okay? Max asked. I don't know, this really doesn't feel good, Naruto said as he was now upgrade. Tennyson. Vilgax said looking at Max, screw you you oversized calamari, Naruto said as he sent an eye-beam at him. 1 hour later. Your choice boy you or them. Vilgax said holding Gwen and Max hostage. Stop. You win. Naruto said as he then transformed into Wildmutt wanting to listen to his instincts and bare his teeth into whatever Vilgax had for a throat. Of course I do. Vilgax said as he put Gwen and Max down as he pressed the Omnitrix stopping the error and turning him human. Thanks, Naruto said. Now, give me the Omnitrix, hybrid, Vilgax said. Hybrid? Naruto asked curiously. You truly have no idea what you are, do you? Did you really think you were a human being? Vilgax said tauntingly. When this is over you'll be used like your people should be as batteries, he said with a smile. What do you mean? Naruto asked, wanting to know what he knew and meant. How do you think your father met your mother, the anodite? I took her hostage and used her as a power source to power my ship many years ago, before I found a suitable replacement for that. What's the human word? Bitch, he said tauntingly. Naruto seethed in anger. Don't make fun of my mom in front of me, he said as an orange pulse of energy shot out, sending Vilgax into the ship while also recharging the Omnitrix. Whoa. What was that? He asked, looking at his hands. Explanations later. This ship is going down, Max said as they ran for cover. Uzumaki. Vilgax shouted as the ship began to explode. Later with Naruto. I'm an anodite? Naruto thought as Max told him he and Gwen were hybrids, more him than Gwen, as it apparently skipped a generation. Few weeks later. This ain't over, kid, not by a long shot, we'll finish this one day, Phil said as he was sucked into the null void. 2 weeks later. Kevin? Naruto said as he woke up shackled to his friend. Naruto. Where are we? Kevin said as he saw they were in a ship. No idea, Naruto said as he got up. You have both been selected to be competitors in my games, the bearer of the Omnitrix and the Osmosion, a robot said simply. Better gear up. What DNA? Naruto said to him. 4 arms man, looks like we'll need the muscle. Kevin said as Naruto dialed in the transformation and he absorbed the dial a little and became a human 4 arms hybrid. I got a new one man, Naruto said, transforming into Cannonbolt. What's that, an armadillo? Kevin asked curiously. More like a wheel with feet, Cannonbolt said him. So how long you got? He asked curiously. 10 minutes at best, Kevin said to him. I gotta get close to that robot, he has the keys, Naruto said to him. Upgrade? Kevin asked him. Best bet, Naruto said as they entered the arena. Few hours later. You're gonna stay? Naruto asked Technorg. This ship has too many prisoners, Technorg said as he knew there were only a few escape pods. Thank you for freeing us, he said, walking away. Let's go, man, I'll catch the next shuttle, Kevin said as he was gonna stay here and help out. Next day. Well, it's official, I killed an alien with chocolate. What is he, part dog? Naruto said as he poisoned the head of the Galactic enforcers. Your brashness reminds me of my sister, Tiny said with a grin. Thank you, Naruto said as he didn't know if that was a compliment or insult. Will he be okay? He asked. Give him a couple hours, he'll be fine, but right now he's powerless, Synaptic said as he checked his vitals. I'm so sorry, I didn't know, Naruto said, feeling bad. This one unfortunately is on me. I should have informed you before you gave Ultimos that chocolate, Synaptic said. Well, are we going to just stand here feeling sorry for ourselves? 66 and Vulcanus are getting away, Tiny said. Let's go, Naruto said as he changed into XLR8, few days later. Hey Charmcaster, Naruto said as he faced the magic-powered girl. You know, every time I see you I feel funny, Charmcaster said as her magic felt stronger near him. Must be my charming personality, or my powers, Naruto said with a chuckle. Your watch? Charmcaster asked. No, the powers I have, I get them from my mom, Naruto said as he blasted at Charmcaster. Now if you need me I'm gonna go beat up your uncle before he destroys the city and brings back those charms, he said, running off. Primus, a cold raspy voice said as he plunged his hand into the green lava-like liquid and a dark purple spot appeared. With Naruto. What's wrong with me? Naruto thought, feeling sickly as every one of his senses were in overdrive and he felt disoriented. Naruto, come on, let's go, Max said as he called him. Give me a minute, Naruto said as he washed his face. You look terrible, Gwen said as he looked pale and drained. I'll be fine, Naruto said, giving her a weak smile. 2 hours later. Oh great, you freaks, Naruto said as he transformed into Ghostfreak and all he felt was darkness. Minutes later. Naruto, stop, Gwen said in worry as Naruto had made the circus freaks draw blood and saw a few lose teeth and could have swore she heard some bones break. Naruto's not here, Ghostfreak said, with Naruto. Get out, Ghostfreak said in pain, holding his head as the watch timed out. Whoa, I feel better, Naruto said sickly. Yes, but we feel great, a voice said loudly. Naruto looked over and saw two ghost freaks, a normal one he transformed into and one that looked like a grim reaper. "Hello brother," the reaper ghost freak said with a grin. "Stay away from us," ghost freak said in anger and pain. "Ghost freak?" Naruto said as he looked at his transformation. "Stay back, Naruto's care, my brother, he wants you." Ghost freak said to him simply, "Naruto, my DNA came from him, but after you turned into me for the first time my DNA was overwritten. I'm you as an ectonorite," he said to him, filling him in fast, and at that moment he started to glitch a little. "Do you actually care for this human?" Zizcare said, hissing in anger. "Yes, and I have to remerge with him or I'll die," Ghost freak said as he was a part of Naruto. "Then so be it," Zizcare said as they fought. "No, I won't let him die," Naruto said, jumping in between them, a bright light leaving his chest burning Zizcare. "I can't stop him," Ghost freak said weakly as he wasn't strong enough. "But we can. Together," Naruto said, hugging him, and as he did Ghost freak merged with his body and soon Naruto felt a strong amount of pain. "Come on, I'm not letting you go," he thought, not giving up on a transformation as his transformations were alive and real to him as they were a part of him, each and every one of them. "Sorry boy," Zizcare said as he tried to merge with him and was shot out. "Not gonna happen," Naruto said as his eyes were different colors, one orange the other purple. "Now choke on this, you bitch," he said as he shot him with an orange beam and a black beam. "No," Zizcare said as he burned from the positive energy and pain from negative energy. Later that day, Naruto stared at his popped-up ghost freak, glad he still had it as this experience was not something he'd forget ever. 2 weeks later. "Sorry Naruto, but you need to go," Kevin said, throwing Naruto through the portal. "Time for that rematch, Squidface," he said as he touched the ground. "Kevin," Naruto yelled as the portal closed behind him. "You'll pay with your life, boy," Vilgax said until a creature took Kevin. Few minutes later. "As much as I appreciate the save, who are you?" Kevin asked curiously. "Your new friend," a man with a crab-like exterior said as he blasted Kevin's head with red lightning. Few days later. "Screw you, you bitch," Gwen said, punching Kai Green in the face. "He's not some dog," she said as Kai pushed her buttons the wrong way when she said that stuff about Naruto. Few days later. "Gramps, remind me to sue if my secret goes out," Naruto said as he was currently holding in his anger as a show's superhero alien buddies was ripping off each transformation. Noted. Max said as he could understand as the cartoon was terrible in his opinion and made the work Naruto did way less important. 3 weeks later. "You alright, Naruto?" Max said as he saw Naruto's worried face. "The watch is turning orange," Naruto said as he saw the dial begin to change. Next day. "You know I feel I'd do alright in prison," Naruto said as he trashed a guy barehanded. "Let's not test that theory," Gwen said, wanting out of the prison. Next day. "My friend, my best friend died for this thing to save the whole universe and you're gonna say no?" Naruto said in red-hot fury. "Remind me not to piss this kid off," Max said as even for a child he was a little scary. Funny Max said the same thing about the boy's mother, Tetrax said as they watched Naruto transform into Cannonbolt. "I've come too far, I won't let everyone's sacrifices go in vain," Naruto said, rolling in the same spot, smoking the cave up as he built up speed and crashed through the door the moment he hit it and the creator. "Aw man, looked at what you've done to my suit," a gray matter said, exiting the body. "I'll do a whole lot more if you don't fix it," Naruto said, not even surprised as gray matter was his smartest form. "That's Azimuth?" Tetrax asked Max in surprise as she shrugged her shoulders. "Yes, I'm Azimuth said as Naruto grabbed him. "You're going to fix this thing or so help me I'm squishing you right here and now," Naruto said. "You know you remind me of this anodite I met years ago, very beautiful, also very disrespectful and short-tempered," Azimuth said. "That was probably my mom," Naruto said as that fit his mom's description to a T. Azimuth gulped in slight fear as there were few who could scare him and that woman definitely could. "Vilgax," Tetrax said as he saw the alarms go off. "You all go kid, you stay," Azimuth said to Naruto. "You're gonna fix it?" Naruto asked. "Honestly, it's better in your hands than Vilgax's if you ask me," Azimuth said, having a new passion for living and not being killed in the extreme off chance he lived as the boy's mother would find him. "Also let me add an upgrade, I'm surprised this hasn't happened faster considering you're part anodite," he said as he saw that AI that was in it fried, latching onto the first person it linked to, which was supposed to be Max. "How does everyone know that?" Naruto asked him curiously. "Your energy," Azimuth said simply as his scanners picked it up earlier, being told who his mother was confirmed it. Listen kid, frankly I could care less, universe hasn't done me any favors so I really don't care. Well, I refuse to allow billions to die and you must care for someone. Everyone has someone they care for, don't you? Naruto said to him. Azimuth felt his heart get heavy when he remembered his greatest failure, losing the love of his life, and knowing that she was alive out there made him want to save her and knew she'd want him to save this universe. I did. Once, a long time ago. He said. What happened? Naruto asked. You actually care to listen? Azimuth said as he was a little surprised considering the attitude Naruto displayed. I'll tell you when you're a little older, but now go save our asses before Vilgax kills us all, he said as the Omnitrix lit up its traditional green. I'll hold you to that promise. Naruto said with a smirk as he transformed into Heat Blast. Oh, and kid, here's a nifty little trick, Azimuth said as he pressed the dial, changing him into XLR 8-bit. Tricky, but I'm sure you can figure it out, he said as Naruto ran. Maybe there is hope in the universe after all, he said with a small smile. End of summer. Does everyone really need to forget? Naruto asked Max curiously as he was wiping out the memories of the town with a little help with. Better this way, Max said as Naruto was too young to deal with all the problems it revealed, and the life he chose added more problems to that. Next day. So? Naruto said, sitting on the porch with his mother, not knowing how to bring up the thing about him being part alien. I should have told you sooner, but I didn't think your powers would awaken. Kushina said as she didn't think it'd happen till he hit 16 at the least, but it turned out he was wrong as he and Gwen unlocked their powers in adolescence. Are you orange too? Naruto asked, holding an orange ball. Kushina smirked as she held up a red ball. Normally I'm pink, but due to what Vilgax did to me I became red, she said, making a red ball appear. So what's gonna happen? I kinda can do this to, Naruto said, making the orange turn black. How did you do that? Kushina said as that energy was the opposite of anodite energy. I fused with my ectonorite transformation, Naruto said to her. Honestly Naruto, I have no idea, but I know one thing, Kushina said as she pulled him into a hug. You'll always be my baby boy, she said happily. Can you help me with my powers? Naruto asked. Definitely, Kushina said. Enjoy. Probably by the time you're finished with high school, or at least your senior year, you'll probably be able to change into your anodite form, she said. Month later. Azimuth, I will kill him, Kushina said as she was glaring at Azimuth's father. He tries and kills my baby boy, he signs his death warrant, she said as she was gonna kill him. She's also ticked about what she did as a Vulpimancer really ruined the lawn, Naruto said as he laughed at the scene. Okay Naruto, come here, Azimuth said as he took out an identical cube that his father had that contained the armor. Consider this an early birthday gift, he said as the armor changed green and fused with the Omnitrix. What did it do? Naruto asked curiously. What, I gotta tell you everything, Azimuth said as Kushina fired a mana blast right next to Azimuth, scoring the grass he stood on. Okay, transform into something, he said, sweating nervously, trying to be more polite, not wanting to die. Naruto transformed into 4 arms and suddenly his arms changed into that of Heat Blast. Okay, enjoy, go, Azimuth said, shoving his father, wanting to put light years between him and Kushina as he didn't want to die a horribly painful death. If I didn't know better I'd say he was afraid of you, Minato said, looking at his wife. That's because he is. You should have seen how he reacted when I told him I was her son, Naruto said as he laughed at the memory. 1 year later. So I can take life? Naruto asked as his mom killed the grass around them as she was in her anodite form. Mana exists in everything, Naruto, and we can add to our power using the things around us, Kushina said as she knew Naruto loved nature, but she was showing him this to make him understand his powers, and if he was ever pushed into a corner he'd know this. Can I go full anodite? Naruto asked. Someday, Kushina said as immature anodites could lose themselves in the power they weren't able to handle. Naruto put his hand to his ear. Do you hear that? I hear whimpering, he said. Hear what? Kushina asked him curiously. Something is whimpering, and I just heard something go off like a gun, Naruto said, walking in one direction. Okay, that I heard, Kushina said, both impressed and worried for her son as she too heard that gunfire. Something's hurt, Naruto said as he felt something in pain. Ow, Kushina said as she hit something but saw nothing. Cloaking, she asked. No one in particular. Kushina poked it. Okay, she said as her hand glowed and she breached the ship. Animals, Naruto said, seeing cages with blood and bones. Naruto came across a dog with a red collar on it walking with a limp leg in a cage. You? A voice from the shadows said in anger. Crab? Naruto said as he recognized the hunter that aided Six in hunting him when they first met. Ah. Just when I received our lost asset you show up, go away, Crab said. Not gonna happen. See when you hurt animals, that really ticks me off, Naruto said. Here you go, Kushina said healing the alien dog's leg. The dog grinned as it growled at Crab. Hey, I own you, obey, mutt, Crab said. You wanna rip him to shreds, go rip him to shreds, Kushina said cutely to the alien dog. The dog-like alien grinned with Naruto before it glowed red and became what looked like the cross between a tyrannosaurus and a centipede with a little caterpillar thrown in. I've seen that before, Naruto said remembering Phil had it on him last summer after he somehow escaped the void. Crab screamed as the alien grabbed him in its mouth before throwing him aside and webbed him to the wall with webbing from its horn. I'll make a call to Azimuth, Naruto said as he took out a plumber's badge. The giant dinosaur-looking bug looked at Kushina before giving her a big lick covering her in slobber. Good dog, Kushina said rubbing the dog-changed dinosaur's belly. The alien glowed red before returning to its dog-like form. Can we keep it, her mom? Naruto asked. Done, Kushina said as she got licked. I'll name you, Zed. Naruto said before Zed tackled him and began licking his face. Few hours later. What is this? Azimuth yelled in anger seeing the device on the dog's neck. I'm calling it the Predatrix. Naruto said as he asked his dad about the alien and he said it was a predator of a few species. Not a bad name to be honest, but how is it like the Omnitrix? Azimuth said as it had some of his designs in it but was still incomplete and a cheap knockoff in his opinion. Are you gonna take it? Naruto asked curiously. Well, it's not bad for a knockoff as I had ideas for a predatory Omnitrix. With a touch her and there it'll be perfect, Azimuth said lying through his teeth as Kushina and her dog were giving him a look that dared him to try and take it. Well, I think Zed should keep it as I don't think I want to know who can make a knockoff Omnitrix. Cerebral crustaceans, no doubt the tech looks like it, Azimuth said recognizing some of the tech that came from that planet. Give me a day and I'll make it perfect, he said taking the Predatrix off the collar. Wonder what happened to Phil. Hell, wonder what happened to the guy that made it. Naruto asked himself, not knowing the horrors that were happening to a certain evil crustacean in the null void. Few years later. Hi Julie, right, Naruto said as he got on his motorcycle as he just won a game. Yeah, that was a nice game, Julie said complimenting him. She had DD cup breasts and a plump ass. I may have been MVP but it's the team that's important, I wouldn't be anything without them, Naruto said. Besides, all I did was catch the ball, he said as he was the goalie on his school's soccer team. Well, you were great, Julie said with a nervous smile. Easy there, tennis girl. I get enough of those looks from my friend Gwen, Naruto said chuckling as she blushed. I'm just messing, he said with a laugh. So where are you going now? Julie asked curiously. To visit an old friend, Naruto said winking at her before he put on his helmet. Well, it was nice talking to you, Julie said a little sad about the short conversation. Here's my number if you want to chat later, Naruto said as he wrote it down for her. Few minutes later. Hey Max, you home? Naruto said as he knocked on the RV door. Cold, he said as Max's RV was off and seemed untouched for a while. Naruto reached down and picked up a rock before turning it over to show a key before he took it out to open the door to the rust bucket. Max, he called out seeing the place had looked like it had been searched. Then Naruto saw everything was all over the place before he whipped around and blasted a human squid-like creature. Later, Naruto said as he blasted it out of the RV and heard it scream in pain. What am I dealing with, squid vampires? He asked, wondering if Vilgax had a hand in this. Okay Gramps, what was in here that thing could be looking for? He said as he went to the front and flipped some switches and soon one of the many secret compartments opened up. Naruto saw a circular object and grabbed it, and when he did a hologram of Max showed up. Hello Naruto. Max said as he popped up and explained he'd be gone and he had the Omnitrix, can't lie, worth a damn old man. Naruto thought to himself. 1 hour later. Naruto ran inside his house making Zed, who was transformed to look like a Doberman, perk up. Naruto, what have I said about running in the house? Kushina said as she washed dishes. Sorry mom. Naruto said as he went in his room, opened his chest and picked up his secret stash of ramen cups and picked up the Omnitrix. Time to come out of retirement and bring the team together, he thought as he went and grabbed his black jacket with orange highlights. Come on Zed, he said as they went to his car he and Kevin designed years ago before he got trapped in the null void. Half an hour later, Naruto arrived at Gwen's karate class and saw she beat her opponent with ease. "So how's my favorite redhead beside my mom?" he asked looking at her. Time had been kind to Gwen as she had long hair tied into a ponytail and grew E-cup breasts and had a fit body with a firm plump ass. Still undefeated. "Oh no," she said as she saw the Omnitrix on his hand. "Let me change," she said. 1 hour later. "Who are you?" Naruto said as he grabbed a man, Max's RV and now here. "Who are you and why are you wet?" he asked as the man's skin felt moist. "Who are you?" the man asked. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki now spill," Naruto said ready to beat the man. "The Naruto Uzumaki," the man said as he looked at him, "son of Minato Namikaze, second in command to Max Tennyson? Rising star of the Plumber Academy?" The man was cut off. "Okay, that was a lot but yeah," Naruto said cutting him off. "Sorry kid. I thought you were just some punk who swiped it from the rust bucket," the man said to him. "Well you're half right," Gwen said as she showed up. "I'm Magister Labrid," Labrid said introducing himself. Half hour later. "Don't make a move," Naruto said to Labrid who charged half-cocked to the middle of an arms deal with the Forever Knights. "And you say I'm nuts," he said to Gwen. "Yeah but you're the cute kind of nuts," Gwen said. "You think I'm cute?" Naruto asked until shots were fired. "Hey." A masculine voice said. The Forever Knights looked over to see a teenager who was wearing a black shirt and jeans. "Kevin?" Naruto said in surprise. "I'm working a deal and you guys show up?" Kevin said as he laughed a little. "Good to see you man," Naruto said as he didn't care how this reunion happened. The men the Forever Knights were trading with removed their helmets to reveal more squid-like aliens. "That thing working?" Kevin asked wondering if he'd have real firepower to use. Some technical difficulties," Naruto said as he saw it turn blue. "Good," Kevin said as he absorbed some metal off the containers beside him. "Try to get it working before I beat them all down," he said competitively. "Whoa," Naruto said as it changed from a wrist strap watch to an actual watch. "Okay, liking the upgrade," he said as he opened it and saw a new set of aliens. "Okay, this one looks kinda cool," he said as he transformed. "Swampfire." The new alien called out before Naruto sniffed the air. "Whoa, is that me?" he said smelling himself thinking he smelled like methane and manure. The aliens looked at him and charged. "Okay new guy. Let's see what you can do," Naruto said, igniting his hands with flames and burning the Forever Knights. "Wow, it's like a fusion of Wildvine and Heat Blast. I wonder," he said as he threw his hands out. Shoot out seeds and roots grew out the ground and pound the knights. Few minutes later, even again. Kevin asked, "Even again?" Naruto said. "We always get the same number of bad guys," Kevin said chuckling as they fist bumped and soon heard an explosion and saw the plumber blew up his guns. "Can I kill him? I didn't get paid," he said as he was gonna fence those guns. "Maybe later." "Where have you been? Why didn't you call? How did you get out?" Naruto said as he wanted to knock some sense into him for charging in half-cocked into this whole situation. "Well I figured you had your own problems," Kevin said as he saw the plumber approach him. "Care to tell us where the Forever Knights went?" Labrid asked curiously. "What's in it for me, Fishstick?" Kevin asked. "Kevin, lots of people could get hurt by those things," Gwen said seriously. "You two ever got together yet?" Kevin asked as he always figured they'd get together. "He has zero clue where they are and went," Naruto said as Kevin was just deflecting right now. "Yeah, I got no clue but I was legit asking. You two were like made for each other," Kevin said. "Like you were for Turbine," Naruto said as he was looking through Kevin's phone. "And they say I'm a thief," Kevin said swiping his phone back, "and I totally hooked with her," he said. "My man," Naruto said congratulating him. "Didn't she try to rob us?" Gwen said as the woman looked familiar. "Who hasn't?" Kevin said laughing a little. "Can we focus? We need to find those knights," Madrid said as he wanted to find the shipment. "Do you have any of their guns? I think I can track them through it," Gwen asked curiously. "No, he blew them all up. Well, except for the one I kept," Kevin said as he liked to keep a piece of good tech when he could. "You never change," Naruto said chuckling. Half an hour later. "I still think I should drive," Madrid said with authority. "Nobody drives my car but me," Kevin said to him leaving no room for discussion. "And trust me when I say he's probably a better driver," Naruto said as there was no way in hell Kevin wasn't racing with this. So an Anubian Basker huh, not bad a choice of a guard dog. Kevin said seeing Zed sitting in the backseat in Naruto's lap. Is that what she is? Naruto said never really giving it much thought. Yeah, but if she does anything to my car I'll kill her man. Kevin said as the dog growled and then smiled at him tauntingly thinking about doing what he had mentioned. You can try, Naruto said as this dog despite being well trained was a free spirit. We're here. Kevin said as they made it to the castle. What makes you say that? Madrid asked. Just a hunch, Naruto said sarcastically. Is Eon still around? He asked Kevin. Probably, Kevin said as he heard mention of leaders of the Forever Knights. Few minutes later, anyone getting a Scooby-Doo vibe? Kevin asked as Zed was sniffing around. Nope, but I still want to blow up this castle, Naruto said as this looked like an outpost or even an armory. It's quiet, too quiet. Madrid said, you jinxed us man, no one ever says that. The universe will jump at that, Naruto said as they all groaned. Naruto was soon proven right when a dragon revealed itself. Okay Poochie, your time to shine, Kevin said pushing Zed forward. Zed growled at him before growling at the dragon before transforming in a lizard-like alien. Daddy's with you girl, Naruto said as he transformed after jumping at the dragon. Echo Echo, Naruto said as he was a small carbon white. Echo Echo split into copies leaping onto the dragon. Got you. Got you. Got you. The Echo Echoes said as they tackled the dragon down. Good God, there are more of him, Kevin said thinking out loud. Remember Ditto? Gwen asked remembering the cute transformation. Don't remind me, Kevin said as he shivered. Got you. Got you. Don't got you. The Echo Echoes said as they got tossed off along with Zed. Cover your ears, Naruto said to everyone as he took a deep breath before unleashing a sonic cry along with the other copies. The dragon began to groan as it began to spark and fall apart before exploding along with the Forever Knight's guns. Let's go, Naruto said changing back but stopped seeing a small puddle under Madrid. There's water coming out of your suit, he said. That's not water, Madrid said as he felt dizzy and seemed to slowly gain wrinkles. You alright? Kevin asked. There's nothing you can do. Madrid said getting weak. Listen Naruto, you have to find where the level 5 tech is coming from, he said in urgency. I will, Naruto said as he promised him as he knew he was approaching death. That's just the tip of the iceberg kid, Madrid said. Max was on the trail of something big, an alien conspiracy with Earth in the middle. He was working undercover. If you crack this case, maybe you can find Max and save your planet, he said as he breathed heavily. I don't know if I can, Naruto said as he didn't like to make promises he couldn't keep. Madrid put a hand on his shoulder. You are Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, you can do anything, he said before his suit filled with smoke and it fell with him no longer in it. This is gonna end badly for whoever did this, Kevin said as he had a lot of anger. I'm going to need help, Naruto said as he knew he couldn't do this alone. You know I'm with you, Gwen said as she had his back no matter what. Kevin, there's no money in this for, Naruto was saying. I'm in, Kevin said as he picked up Madrid's badge. Time to track where your souvenir came from, Naruto said holding the gun. 1 hour later. Do you want me to try? Naruto asked Gwen as she was trying to pick up a trace from the gun. I'm sure I can get it, Gwen said as it soon glowed pink. Don't worry, I have a shield on your car, Naruto said as it glowed orange as it rode off terrain. Since when can you do that stuff? Kevin asked. Spent the rest of summer training with my mom, Naruto said simply. I am so sorry, Kevin said as he heard of Kushina from other prisoners while in the Null Void and was scared of her just from the rumors alone. Don't be, I enjoyed it and I met Zed through it, Naruto said as his girl growled in satisfaction. So, got a harem yet? Kevin asked very interested in that. What? Naruto asked in surprised. You're the only male anodite, don't you know about the Extinct Species Act? Kevin asked as that was something well known and male anodites were extremely rare. First I've ever heard of it, Naruto said as they followed Gwen. Oh boy. Well, it's a law that gives one the legal right to have a harem to start their species back up, Kevin said to him. I'm surprised your mother didn't tell you, or your dad, he said a little surprised. Me to my mother wants a literal army of grandchildren, Naruto said as his mother wanted a lot of grandchildren. Pretty sure all mothers wish that, as that's what my mom wants, Kevin said chuckling. You know, a couple months back my mom talked to Gwen in private. Naruto said as he always wondered what that was about. Probably telling her first, Kevin said chuckling. They soon stopped as Gwen stopped a few yards away from the entrance to a mine shaft. What? Gwen asked as Naruto was giving her a look. Did my mom tell you about this extinct species act? Naruto asked, making her blush very dark and freeze up. We'll talk about this later, he said calmly. The two looked as Kevin knocked out the guard and removed a cover on his face, revealing another squid-like alien. ID mask, Naruto said as they were good for scanning people's faces and becoming like them, only downside like any hologram they phased whenever an electrical disturbance like lightning striking disrupted it. He said, getting an idea as they began to go down the mine shaft. You sure there's anything down here? Kevin asked, only to see a huge ship. No, nothing strange here, Naruto said sarcastically. It's freezing in here, Gwen said as she could see her breath. Cold. These guys must not like heat, Naruto said as he remembered when the one he fought in the RV, the one hated the sunlight. Any sign of Max being here? Kevin asked as he felt this was somewhere the old man would come to. Gwen did a reading. No, he was here for a few weeks maybe, but not here now. What are you doing? She asked as Naruto used the mask to become one of the aliens and had a cart. Get in. We're blowing this whole operation up, Naruto said as they slipped past them. Really should keep of these, he thought, knowing they'd be useful in the future. What do you feed this dog? Kevin asked as Zed was all on him, breathing right in his face. Shush. Naruto whispered as he was going past more squid aliens. Point of no return, he said as they ran out of track. They began moving deeper into the cave. They saw advanced alien technology. Kevin absorbed the metal from a door and tore it open, revealing tons of the laser lances, and Gwen blew it up. What the hell? Gwen said, seeing a colossal, seemingly more advanced version of the squid-like aliens. What are you vermin doing on my ship? The white creature said to them, sounding disgusted by simply talking to them and them being there. Geez, and I thought Vilgax was ugly, Kevin said as this took the cake. Can you say superiority complex, much? Naruto said as the way the alien carried itself sounded too regal. I do not repeat myself to lower lifeforms. What are you doing on my ship? The white creature said as more of the squid aliens arrived. Did you just call me a lower life form? Kevin asked the others. I think he did, Naruto said, sounding ticked off. Rude, Gwen said as she glared at him. You dare mock a hybrid commander? The creature said angrily. I'd mock anybody who uses the word mock, Naruto said as he transformed into a bipedal dinosaur, Humungosaur. Wow, look at me, he said, checking himself out before he was tackled. He's still taller, Kevin said as he saw his friend in the alien fight. It's not about size, it's about how you use it, Naruto said as he spun around, using his tail, flipping the hybrid onto his back. If I had heat blast I'd roast you, he said before the Omnitrix glowed and his hands got turned into magma. Oh yeah. I didn't think that still worked, he said as he had forgot that particular feature. Maggot, you dare face me alone? The hybrid said, sounding insulted. Oh, do you ever shut up? Naruto said, getting fed up with the alien's superiority crap. Give the order, we need to sanitize everything, the hybrid leader said to one of the other aliens. Sanitize? Naruto asked before the hybrid grabbed him by the throat. Destroy all life within a 5-mile radius, no witnesses, the hybrid said. 10 square miles, there are thousands of people, Naruto said in anger and disgust. Why should I care about maggots? The hybrid asked. Guys, stop the machine, I'll take care of this, Naruto said as he changed into Swampfire. Let's turn up the heat, he said, unleashing a large amount of methane. Boom, he said as he snapped his fingers, creating a spark causing a huge explosion. The hybrid got sent flying into a wall. You understand any of this? Gwen asked Kevin as she couldn't read their language. No. Let's just wreck it, Kevin said as that was his go-to plan anyway, as he usually had some knowledge of other alien languages and tech. You guys really don't like the heat, Naruto said as the temperature was slowly rising, and with the ship in the air and all the holes in it letting the cold air out, it was getting hotter. They're drying up, he thought, seeing wrinkles appear on them. Suddenly an alarm went off as Naruto looked up, seeing Kevin holding a chunk of machinery. Whoops, Kevin said as explosions began to go off all around the ship. Okay, we're gonna crash soon, go, Naruto said to Kevin and Gwen as he wasn't gonna let the hybrid escape. Few minutes later. Since when do you get injured? Gwen said as Naruto had wounds as Homungosaur and they carried over to his body, him getting sick and affecting his aliens is one thing but this is something else, she thought to herself. Don't know but I don't think I want to try that again unless it's with Cannonbolt, Naruto said as he wondered why this was happening. So what now? Kevin asked wondering what the plan was if any. We keep doing what Gramps was doing, stop these aliens, and make new allies along the way as we can't do this with just the four of us, Naruto said as this planet needed protecting and knew something big was coming. Great let's, Gwen was saying before Naruto grabbed her. Now that the hybrid is stopped we're having that little discussion now about a certain act you neglected to tell me about that mom told you. Naruto said not forgetting what he said before they went into the mine. Gwen groaned as she knew this conversation wasn't going to be a nice one. 1 hour later at Mr. Smoothie, you finished the car without me. Kevin said looking at Naruto's car a little mad. Finished. Not exactly. Naruto said, all I did was get it running. Everything else, not at all. He said as he hadn't added the weapons or all the other quite possibly illegal parts Kevin wanted to add. Well you didn't do too shabby of a deal, Kevin said as he checked it over. Gwen was slurping on her smoothie trying to fade in with the background before Naruto turned to her letting her know she wasn't off the hook. Now let's have our conversation while he checks out my car, Naruto said making Gwen groan. I'm not exactly ticked about the act, I'm ticked that you lied and didn't tell me about it. He said as he thought there was more trust between them. Well honestly after your mom told me about how your dad's family tend to be, well equipped I kind of got possessive, Gwen said as she blushed darkly remembering the very in-depth conversation she had with Naruto's mother amazed the woman could keep a straight face as she discussed such in-depth details with her.
Well that explains a lot, Naruto said as he could understand certain things when his mother was concerned as he was not one to deny she was some combination of scary, crazy, eccentric, and a lot of other things, but Gwen you've never lied to me before or even held any secrets from me, why now? He asked her wanting to know why she kept this from him.
Well it's always been just you and me I guess I didn't want to share you. For more reasons than one. Gwen said as she gave his crotch a glance. Gwen just because I'll eventually meet other girls, it doesn't mean I won't still care about you. Naruto said as he hugged her and laughed slightly as she nuzzled into his chest. Though my mom wasn't kidding about well-equipped 16 long and 5.5 thick, he whispered into her ear. Gwen's face turned dark red making Naruto burst into laughter. Why you did that on purpose, she said in embarrassment. I always love seeing you get all flustered and embarrassed, Naruto said laughing. Oh I always hated it when you teased me, Gwen said as she pouted slightly. Well how's about this, if this act is already in motion if I like a girl I'll run her by you first considering you're my first real girl, Naruto said as he pecked her forehead. Gwen blushed darkly again as she smiled, wait, first real girl, are you asking me to be your girlfriend? She asked hope present in her voice. And you say I'm dense, Gwen I've been trying to ask you ever since we entered high school, Naruto said as he hugged her close. I swear this is making me want to hurl, Kevin said as he was watching this with a chuckle. Oh like you're not like this with your girl, Naruto said to him teasingly. Whatever man, Kevin said as he took out his keys. Okay it's late later man try not to die we just put targets on our backs, he said as there was no possible way they weren't gonna be targeted. Well I can't lose my mechanic as we have work to do, Naruto said looking at his car.
Damn right, Kevin said as he then took off. So, take me home, Gwen asked him curiously.
Whoa. Let's go slow before we hit any action, Naruto said before laughing seeing her face light up like a Christmas tree. You. Ooh, Gwen said lightly pushing him, easy they're red, Naruto said as he opened the door for her and drove her home. Next day. What are you? Naruto said as he did some detailed sketches of both types of aliens, must be something, he thought as the Omnitrix didn't scan their DNA meaning it might have been in it already. Naruto then heard Kevin honk his horn outside showing it was time for patrol, come on girl, he said getting Zed to run out of the door eager for some action. Few days later. Crop circles I don't know this seems kinda sketchy and B-list even for us, Kevin said as they had been doing internet searches of anything in the area. They say there's a creature similar to Heat Blast, and I want a second opinion. Naruto said as he saw mention of a man on fire from police reports. Could be a hybrid like us, Gwen said to him simply.
Not entirely sure about that, Naruto said as a pyronite's temperature was high even when doused they burned like hot coal. How a man or woman was able to survive the act was beyond him. Suddenly something began ringing and Kevin pulled out his plumber's badge. Distress beacon. To exactly where we're going. Okay, I take it back, something might be going on, he said, knowing when to admit he was wrong.
Let's go, Naruto said as Kevin put his foot down on the pedal.
Few hours later. It's the middle of spring and it's 70 degrees, Naruto said, finding it odd even if it was late it should have been hotter.
Think a hole in the building means anything? Kevin asked curiously. The blast came from the inside. Something broke out, Naruto said as they went inside and saw a blinking plumber's badge on a desk. Think it could be Grandpa's? Gwen asked as there was no way to tell.
No, it'd feel too easy. No, this belongs to someone else, Naruto said as the badge didn't have any of Max's energy on it as he used his anodite powers on it. Hold it, a man dressed in a sheriff's uniform said as he entered. Oh great, cops, Kevin said as he never liked being on the wrong side of them. Let's not fight here, sir, we're just investigating those reports of crop circles and a fire monster, Naruto said silently, putting the badge in his back pocket. That wasn't released yet. How do you know about that? The sheriff said as he aimed his gun.
Reports on the internet, Gwen said as that was a lie as they hacked the cops' servers. Well, you're too late, the fire guy's gone, the sheriff said simply.
But you know who it is, Naruto said as he picked up on the fact he wasn't telling them everything.
Look, that thing is too dangerous to leave to a bunch of kids. Go home and forget you saw anything, the sheriff said as he left. Yeah, right, Kevin said as that was the last thing they'd do.
This guy knew the kid were in the middle of farmland. Gwen, check the news, see if there have been any fires while me and Kev do some computer work, he said, looking at the sheriff's computer.
1 hour later. Got a name and it's a bit ironic, Naruto said as he saw Alan Albright.
Check this out, his family's farm has been having fires for a few years, Gwen said as she did find something odd. I found mention of his parents and a few photos but no actual hard evidence they existed, she said as it was a little confusing.
How does a pyronite even have a kid with a lady? They're like living magma, Kevin said as he was still confused. Could have been a lady pyronite too, but case is the same thing, Naruto said as he thought about this earlier and it was still impossible in his opinion. We'll discuss this later, Gwen said as they left. Few minutes later, they found a small pyronite with the sheriff and some cops knocked out around him. Looks like heat blast. Want me to kick his butt? It'd be like old times, Kevin said as he and Naruto fought a lot.
Hold it, let's try talking to him, as I'm picking up more scared kid than evil alien, Naruto said as he could feel Alan's worry and fear. Few explanations later. So something's been making these fires, and if it's not you, then what? Gwen asked curiously.
Freeze. A cop said as he flashed a light onto them. I should have known you had accomplices, you couldn't have made all those fires by yourself, the sheriff said as he aimed his gun. Yeah, dumbass, we just got into town and screw you, Naruto said as the man had zero evidence that Alan was doing any of this. Naruto's hands glowed black as he made smoke to cover their escape. Few minutes later. Dude, you can transform and use magic, I feel cheated, Alan said to him. Trust me, stick with what you got, man, Naruto said as they ran through the fields. Naruto reached into his pocket. I think that belongs to you, he said as he tossed him the badge. My dad's badge, but how'd you get it? Alan asked. Doesn't matter. Let's hide in this building, Kevin said as they went inside. Dad's a pyronite, has to be, Naruto said to Kevin quietly. Yeah, but, Kevin said as he made some motions, I know they're magma but there's always a way, Naruto said. No matter what I say, the sheriff still believes I made the fires, Alan said as he was being accused just cause of his heritage. We don't believe him. For starters, no fire could cut this building in half, Naruto said before he noticed something. Are we standing on metal? He asked as the ground felt harder underneath. Everyone looked, and wherever the field or building was cut there was a trail of metal. Gwen, take us up, I need a sky view. I think these may be circuit boards, Naruto said as they had the designs similar to that of a computer. Gwen made platforms for Alan and Kevin while Naruto transformed into a red ray-like alien.
Jet ray, Naruto said as he flew up and saw his suspicions were right and saw a bright light in the distance. We gotta move, he said as the others followed Naruto.
Who is that? Alan asked, seeing a man in a full bodysuit.
I have a guess. Look at the ground, Naruto said as they all looked at the base of the plants and saw they were glazed over in something. Gwen, care to take the first shot? He asked her as she smiled and sent a disc at the man's mask and revealed one of the aliens that were with the hybrid. Okay, no matter how many times I see it I still wanna vomit, Gwen said.
We are the DN aliens and we will destroy you all, the alien said as he spit a ball of goo at them. Alan, time to bring the heat, Naruto said as he transformed into Swampfire. Suddenly the ground began rumbling as the DN aliens finished their work and all of the circuit boards began glowing before a tower came up and it began to snow. Definitely need the cold to survive, Naruto said as it was gonna get real cold with these things.
Oh great, this guy, Kevin said as the sheriff showed up. Freeze, the sheriff said as he was then blasted with a cold gun that looked like a metal detector covering him in some kind of metal along with his cops.
Naruto was also shot, Naruto, Gwen said before she was shot as well, followed by Kevin.
Oh no, Alan said before he was shot but found he was unaffected. Guess I'm too hot to handle, he said, happy that he was unaffected.
More DN aliens showed up and increased the power of their guns and fired, but yet again no effect on Alan. The palms on Swampfire began to heat up as the metal covering Naruto came off. Okay, that was weird. Need some help? He asked as he stretched as the plant side of him was a little stiff. Yes, please, Alan said as they then blasted the DN aliens. Gwen, Naruto said, seeing her covered in the same metal as the cops before he waved his hands by her, heating her up to free her and Kevin.
We gotta destroy those things, Gwen said as the metal was real cold in the inside.
We have to take down the tower. Alan, you go up and take out the guards while I knocked it down, Naruto said. I don't think I can do it, I'm very bad at flying, Alan said as he could only get so far before he crashed. I was the same. Let me show you a little trick I learned, Naruto said as he grinned at Alan and began explaining a second elemental power he had, as Pyronites could also manipulate Earth as well. Few minutes later, Alan cheered as he flew on a chunk of rock flying up to the top of the tower before blasting the DN aliens at the top before giving Naruto a thumbs up. Naruto gave one back as he ran at the tower before knocking out 2 guards and began pushing the tower. Okay, gonna need some leverage on this one, he said as his feet rooted into the ground and he began to drink up nutrients and started pushing the tower forward.
30 minutes later, hell of a day, right? Naruto said, sitting next to Alan.
You can say that again, Alan said as he smirked. Still don't want to come with us? Naruto asked curiously.
Someone has to help the sheriff with any aliens still around, Alan said as he wanted to protect his hometown.
Well, if you ever need anything, give us a call, Naruto said as they shook hands. 2 weeks later. This is a bad deal, Kevin. He's gonna double-cross you seriously, and Argit will double-cross you before Vulcanus has a chance to, Naruto said, remembering Vulcanus from the earlier years. He stole a recording from Max to you, and Naruto hate to say it but saving the planet is more important than this, Kevin said as it was an easy choice in his mind, but Naruto brought up some points.
I stranded Vulcanus here years ago. There has to be more to this, Kevin, Naruto said as Vulcanus had no way off the planet and he was too greedy for his own good, meaning there was more to this deal than they thought.
Hey, if shit hits the fan blades you can race in with Gwen and get me out, Kevin said as he was filling Naruto in immediately cause he knew Naruto wouldn't blow the whole operation. 1 hour later. Seriously, you got pricked, Naruto said as he removed the quills from Kevin. How's about less blame and more racing after Argit? I placed a tracker in the rust bucket, Kevin said as he was glad he did that in advance. Still ticked you had to use it, Naruto said as they chased after Argit. 30 minutes later. You both are dense, I swear, Gwen said as she was angry they didn't include her in the first part of this. Denser than you that you haven't been picking up on my obvious hits all these years? Naruto asked teasingly. That's completely different, Gwen said as she felt like an idiot for not noticing it. It's here, meaning Argit ain't too far, Naruto said looking inside a window. Suddenly they heard someone turning a doorknob. Gwen, kill the light, Naruto said as the light went off. Argit soon walked in nonchalantly and when he turned on the light he froze seeing Kevin and the others. Hello Argit, Naruto said with a smile as he cuffed Argit to the wall with his mana. As soon as Argit began to whimper his quills came up. I wouldn't do that if I were you, Naruto said holding up a black orb. Hey man, let's be chill, Argit said nervously, but Kevin punched him in the face. Screw that, Kevin said, leaving the bipedal hedgehog unconscious on the floor. This means we go to Vulcanus now. But Kevin, you don't have anything to offer him, Naruto said, knowing Vulcanus would want more than weapons. I'll think of something, Kevin said as he started to walk away. No, Naruto said, getting in his way. This time we do this my way, he said as they got in the RV. 1 hour later at an abandoned airfield. Thanks man, Kevin said as he became human again.
Gotta love charms, Naruto said as he and Gwen enchanted Kevin before he met Vulcanus.
What about him? Gwen asked, pointing at the very happy Vulcanus who was without his suit, rolling in all the tatanite he chopped off of Kevin after making him absorb some. Let him be, Kevin said as he walked away. Yeah, screw that, Naruto said as he took a large chunk of the crystal.
This hollow thing better have been worth it, Gwen said as Naruto handed her and Kevin a chunk of the crystals.
It's from Max, so it has to be. And why are you taking tatanite, aren't you loaded? Kevin asked as Naruto gave him some.
No, mom always told me, you can never have too much money, Naruto said to him. I also feel we're entitled to this. He tried ripping you apart, and let's be honest, the less money he has the better it'll be for us, he said, not wanting to deal with the baby-sized alien more than he had to. Right, you gonna turn that on? Kevin asked him as they listened to Max's message and listened to the fact he wanted them to assemble a team together. Glad me and him still think the same, Naruto said as he knew it wasn't smart to go it alone in this.
Few days later. Hey Naruto, we got a hit nearby one of the plumber badges, Kevin said as they heard a lot of weird stuff going on in a small town.
Disappearances and girls having weird marks, Naruto said as he was looking at a news article. Are those teeth marks? He said, looking at the circular mark.
What could do that? A leech, Gwen asked as they were small.
Or a vampire, Kevin said jokingly. Might not be too far off on that. I've seen this before, Naruto said as he was a little confused by where. Next day. Dude, what are you reading? Kevin asked Naruto, holding an old book the size of an encyclopedia. Asmith gave this to me when I last saw him. It's an old book on extinct species. I know I saw that mark before. It's killing me, Naruto said to himself. Didn't Dr. Victor have something like that on him? Gwen said as she thought she saw a scar similar to that on the electrical Frankenstein. I think he did, but I swear this is killing me, Naruto said as there was too many alien species. Hey, I hear that ectonerites and aliens like Victor come from a planet just like the mummy alien and the werewolf aliens. Apparently all aliens there are based off of Halloween monsters. Check for it, Kevin said as he was trying to help Naruto narrow down his search.
Onur Transl. Naruto said, remembering the sector of space Asmith had a little less luck acquiring DNA.
Wait, is this it? It's called a Vladat, Gwen said, looking at a creature that looked like a vampire. Mark matches up, but it's too small. Vladat's bite is a lot larger. What the hell are we looking for? A toddler, Naruto said as this was getting weirder and weirder.
What if we're not looking for a Vladat? What if we're looking for someone who's half Vladat? Gwen said to him. Maybe, but Plumber HQ has nothing on the Vladat for this badge, Naruto said as he did do his research and nothing stood out. Let's see what we can find, Kevin said as they drove. Hey, can the watch scan hybrids? He asked curiously.
Maybe, Naruto said as it was possible. Later. This guy seems nice, Naruto said simply as they were in a mansion.
Too nice for my taste, Kevin said as he was always skeptical when something seemed too good.
That golden glow has me worried though, Naruto said as it felt too powerful in his opinion.
And it has nothing to do with how he's looking at Gwen, Kevin said teasingly.
1. I'm not the jealous type, and 2. there is something odd about it. He's no anodite and Vladats don't have that kinda energy level power, Naruto said to him. Aliens evolve, dude. The book Asmith gave you is old. Lots of things change, Kevin said as all species were still evolving even now.
And there's something else. When I touched his glove, I felt something that didn't feel right, Naruto said as it felt odd to him. Yeah, I can tell, there's something off with this guy, Kevin said as this wasn't adding up in his mind. Yeah, like it's hot out. And who wears black leather gloves in the heat? Naruto asked. Who wears black leather period in the spring? Kevin said as dark colors absorbed sunlight. Wanna search around? Naruto asked Kevin simply. Duh, let's go, Kevin said as they looked around. 1 hour later. Nothing in the house, Kevin said as he found nothing. I found something, Naruto said as he showed Kevin a yearbook. All the girls knew Michael personally, he said, seeing their signatures and pictures with him in them. And? Kevin asked, not seeing the point. Little too coincidental for my taste, man. It's like he's targeting them here. Come on, this girl knew Michael and hasn't been to the hospital yet, and she knew the other girl's best lead we got, Naruto said to him, wanting to solve this. Where is him anyway? Kevin asked, with Gwen. Naruto said as he read a text. Please tell me you were tracking her, Kevin asked him.
She is carrying a plumber badge, Naruto said as he also had one from his dad, and Gwen had Max's and he could track her mana if worst came to worst. 20 minutes later. We should have socked this guy in the face. No guy looks like that and can't be a vampire. It's like he watched Twilight and rehearsed it. I swear he fucking glowed and glittered, Naruto said as they ran to a lake house.
You can do positive and negative mana, right? Kevin asked.
Yeah, why? Naruto asked. If say Gwen's positive can boost him, what could that say if he got a stomach full of negative? Kevin said.
Kevin, sometimes you are a genius, Naruto said as they ran inside and saw Gwen on the floor, very pale and gray and looked drained, while Michael was completely golden, shining like a star.
Hello Naruto and Kevin. Uncatalogued DNA detected, the Omnitrix said as it glowed yellow and scanned something in the distance, and when they saw it they saw bones.
Please tell me that's not what I think it is, man, Kevin asked him. Yeah, his parents, Naruto said as he saw a Vladat and a human skeleton. You sick bastard, he said as they didn't die naturally. You drained them, he said as these people were husks. Yes, and now that you know my secret, I'll drain you as well. I wonder if your mana will be as delicious as lovely Gwen's, Michael said. I'm the only guy who gets to call her that, Naruto said as he blasted Michael with black beams. What are you doing? Michael said as he was losing power. Sending all the energy you stole back, Naruto said angrily as the energy shot out of Michael and soon left him in the same state he left all the girls in time to even out the score, he said as he grabbed some nearby pliers and reached into Michael's handmouths and ripped mouth all their teeths. Few days later. You okay? Naruto said, sitting in Gwen's window. You keep coming here every day to ask me that, Gwen said as she smiled from her bed. Are you complaining? Naruto asked with a grin. Nope, Gwen said as she kissed him before closing her window on him. Tease, Naruto said as he ran off. Few weeks later.
Why is she driving? Kevin asked from the backseat as Gwen was tearing up the road with Naruto's car. It's her brother, Ken, Naruto said to him, very calm right now. Ha, Ken and Gwen, what does she have? Cousins Jen and Len? Kevin asked. Sunny actually, Naruto said nonchalantly. Dude, I was kidding, Kevin said to him.
We're here, Gwen said, seeing they made it to the town.
It's still raining here, Naruto said as this was a long drive and it was said that it was raining here for 2 weeks. Look at this town empty, Kevin said, finding that a little odd not seeing any people inside buildings and all the blinds being closed. There's a diner open, Naruto said as he saw an open one but no one inside.
Few minutes later. Talk, Naruto said to the DN alien, and all he got was gargles. English or I let bad cop handle this, he said as the DN alien looked at Gwen's pink hot glowing eyes, giving the alien a look that'd kill a person a dozen times over. Few minutes later. Dude, are you seriously stealing pie? Naruto said as they were inside the diner.
It's good pie, Kevin said with his mouth full. Alright, here's the garage, Naruto said as they were using a map and looking at the town. And if the hybrid are here, they're trying to lure Gramps with your brother, he said as that was the best guess he had. Is the awesome mobile in there? Gwen asked, wondering about the garage. Kevin snickered hearing that his car's called the awesome mobile, he asked. It was an old Camaro, Naruto said, shutting Kevin up as he liked muscle cars. Okay, so if the hybrid are here and there are no people, we can safely guess there are a bunch more like with Alan's town, Gwen said to them. I'm gonna guess the whole town, I mean everyone's gone, Naruto said, looking in the distance. The two were pulled out of their thoughts as Kevin broke the door down, breaking into the garage. It looks like crap, Naruto said as it was covered in rust and each part looked ready to fall down. He and Kevin examined the car. Hybrid, they said, recognizing the familiar symbols but not understanding the tech. This is used to mess up combustion engines, Kevin said, pulling off a small purple object out of the car's engine. I think I got it. The hybrid got tired of trying to catch Max, so they used Ken to set a trap, Naruto said, thinking there was also something else here, as they wouldn't just bring Max here unless they were guaranteed something.
Ken, Gwen said, worried about her brother. Zed began growling as two men walked into the garage, one holding a container.
Okay, before this gets ugly, Naruto said as he handed Kevin a crowbar. Zed maim, he said as he knew exactly what those men were carrying. Zed charged, and when Naruto whistled, she became what looked like the cross between a crab and a rhino.
You trained her to change with a whistle? Kevin asked. Certain forms, yes. Naruto said as it was still a touch-and-go process.
I want answers. Where is my brother? Gwen said to the two Denalians as they were clearly the last to see her brother.
Like all one was saying before, Zed growled at him. Talk or your lunch. Gwen said, smiling to scare them and show appreciation to Zed.
All right, he's at the hatchery, the Denalian said in fear. Thank you, Gwen said before she knocked the two out. I'll treat you later, she said, petting Zed, who purred and cooed. I have a feeling it's about to get really gross from here, Kevin said as he looked at the small squid on the floor that Zed squished.
With a place called the hatchery, what do you expect? Naruto said to him. 30 minutes later, we need to be fast, Naruto said, seeing what looked like eggs in the water. Ew. I just got alien movie vibes, Kevin said as this was a bit much. They certainly look like them. These things must be how they make those DNA aliens, Gwen said as she always wondered how those formed.
Those things either grow or eat things, or they're parasites, Naruto said as all the Denalians were weird to him as he felt mostly alien but something deep inside it.
Let's just go before one jumps on us, Kevin said, wanting to do this fast.
10 minutes later, the trio got inside the hatchery, but when Kevin lifted his arm he saw a hatchling and slammed it down before it got to his face. Looking more and more like a parasite makes fighting these things a little harder, knowing there'll be actual people in them, Naruto said to them. Guys, Kevin said as he saw DNA aliens all around them. Okay, knock them out, don't kill them, move, Naruto said as he transformed into a blue moth-like alien. Big chill, he said as he flew up and began freezing the Denalians in blocks of ice. Oh, I thought you liked the cold, he said tauntingly, glad to know ice powers were an option against them. Kevin absorbed some concrete as Zed changed into Crabdozer again. After they knocked out a few dozen, Gwen turned around and gasped, seeing her brother's face but with a Denalian's body. Ken, no, Naruto said in shock, few minutes later. What are we going to do? Is there something we can do? Gwen asked as she was panicking and freaking out. I have no idea, Gwen, Naruto said as he pulled her into a hug to calm her down. If this is because of that parasite, let's just yank it off, Kevin said as he began pulling on the parasite. Stop, you're hurting him, Naruto said as the parasite must have bonding to him on a cellular level. Suddenly the Omnitrix began beeping. Severe genetic damage detected, it said. Whoa, since when can it talk? Kevin asked in surprise. Wasn't paying attention the first time, Naruto said to him as it did the same with Michael. Genetic splicing error, should we attempt to repair? The Omnitrix asked curiously. Yeah, Naruto said as he grabbed the parasite, and he was then taken on some kinda power trip inside the watch and soon held the parasite in his hands, with Ken being back to normal. Grandpa Max is here, Ken said, slightly disoriented. Gramps is here, Naruto said in surprise. They needed him out of the way for their plans. Oh, their plans are terrible, Ken said as his mind felt like a haze. Come on, Gwen said, wanting all her family to come home. Few minutes later, they entered a room and found Max on the floor tied up. Max, Naruto said, running in. Naruto, you're a sight for sore eyes, Max said as he hugged him and Gwen as soon as he was freed. I'm so glad you're okay, Gwen said. Me too, honey, Max said. Grandpa, I had no control over what I was doing, Ken said before Max hugged him. It's okay, Kenny, Max said. I always knew you could do it, Naruto. I'm proud of you, he said, putting a hand on his shoulder. All of you, you too, Kevin, I've been watching. You've come a long way, might even earn that plumber's badge you swiped, he said with a grin. Attention all personnel, initiate Project DNA now, the hybrid said over the PA system. They all ran to the window and saw DNA aliens loading parasites into trucks. They're shipping those things to somewhere, trying to put together a DNA alien army. Listen, Naruto, those xenocytes must be destroyed,
Max said in urgency as this would spread on a massive scale, allowing the DN aliens to take over Earth. What are you going to do? Naruto asked before the others left the room. What I have to do? Max said as he took out a null void projector. This is gonna get ugly, Kevin said, wanting to get away from the gun. Naruto and the others ran outside to stop the trucks. Naruto transformed into Jetray and took to the air, shooting down trucks, blowing them and the eggs in them to smithereens. Ken used a crowbar to smash the xenocytes before Kevin absorbed. You kidnapped my brother, turned him into a monster, locked up my grandfather. I have had it. Gwen shouted as she sent waves of magic.
Dude, you are so screwed if you piss her off, Kevin said, laughing a little. Suddenly explosions and flashes of light were seen from the top of the building, and when they raced in and saw Max taking on a hybrid. But when Naruto looked outside, he saw hordes of Denalians outside. It's over, Plumber. Nowhere left to run, the hybrid said as he picked up Max.
I wasn't running, I was looking for the egg machine. Max said as he held up the null void projector.
I null void warp projector. You think you can imprison us all? The hybrid said, thinking he was a fool and didn't live up to the legend. Yes, see, if I remove the focusing lens it should do a pretty good imitation of a hand grenade. May take out half a mile, Max said as he pulled apart the trigger from the gun. Naruto, Gwen, shield yourselves and the others. If we don't stop this here and now, we'll have bigger problems in the future. We can't let them get a foothold like this on Earth, and be good, he said with a fond smile. No, Gwen said as she screamed as Naruto put up a barrier and Max pressed the detonator. Few minutes later, after the explosion, the teens saw what it did. All the hybrid were gone, and so was a lot of the town. With Max gone, it's up to us to protect this planet, Naruto said as things got more real than they'd ever been, and it was time they filled Max's shoes and became the protectors of their home.
Yes, we owe it him, Gwen said as she wiped her tears away from her face.
His sacrifice won't be in vain, Kevin said as he was many things but a quitter wasn't one of them.
So what? You and your alien force are going to pick up where Grandpa left off? Ken asked.
Alien force, it has a nice ring to it, Naruto said, liking the name.
Do you have any idea how corny that sounds? Kevin asked him seriously.
We could name it after me, Naruto said with a grin.
Alien force it is, Kevin said as they walked away. Few weeks later. I'm sorry, since when do you have game? Kevin asked as they were working on Naruto's car. Probably the same time when I got the luck of the devil, Naruto said to him. You're taking 2 girls out to the pier, nice, Kevin said, congratulating him. Oh wait, does she know? He said to him. About me or this? Naruto said as he held up the Omnitrix. Both, Kevin said. You're going to have to be more specific. Do you mean about the harem thing or my powers things? Naruto asked, being cheeky. Dude, quit being a dick, Kevin said to him as he punched his shoulder.
She doesn't know about anything, and if it goes well I want to wait a little before letting her know. I don't want to freak her out, Naruto said as he didn't want to drop such heavy baggage. I can get that. So any plans to take things to the bed? Kevin asked before Naruto threw a wrench at him. Ow, I was kidding, he said, rubbing his shoulder. Does moving too fast mean nothing to you? I don't want to just instantly take it there. There's tears I hear, Naruto said as he read about it.
Oh, don't tell me you believe in that tier 1, 2, 3 crap, Kevin asked him. I just don't want things to go too quick, dude, Naruto said simply. I feel someone may have a different opinion, Kevin said as Gwen seemed positively ready to jump him.
Whatever, just help me with my car, Naruto said as they got to work.
Few hours later. Oh honey, it'll be okay, Kushina said as Naruto seemed nervous as hell.
I've never been on a date before, Mom, so yeah, I'm nervous, Naruto said to her.
Should have seen your mother, Minato said as he was instantly KO'd by his wife. Just remember, due to your negative energy you can make yourself sterile, Kushina said with a knowing look. Mom. Naruto said with a dark blush on his face. Listen, I want lots of grandbabies but I can wait a while, Kushina said with a smile. My legs don't want to move, Naruto said to her. Oh honey, if you're so nervous, take Zed, she should help, Kushina said as the dog yips in excitement. Make sure nothing goes wrong, she said, whispering to the dog who nodded its head. It's time, Naruto said. Look honey, just be yourself and you should be okay, Kushina said. Naruto gulped as he grabbed his car keys. Well, come on girl. You can watch daddy's train wreck personally, he said as the dog followed him. I was not nervous when we dated, Kushina said in denial as she looked down to her unconscious husband. With Naruto. Naruto just picked up Gwen and then went and got Julie and were on their way to the fair. She's so cute, Julie said as she petted Zed, who soon became putty in the tennis girl's hands.
You must have a way with animals, she's never like that unless I do it. Naruto said it as Zed was pretty picky about who touched her. Always liked animals, Julie said as she petted her some more. Later at the pier, you just had to mess with the fortune teller, huh? Naruto said as Gwen made a woman pretending to be a fortune teller become hysterical as she saw Gwen use her powers, like her eyes glowing. Few minutes later, you know these games are rigged, right? Gwen said as Naruto was gonna pop balloons with darts.
Yeah, but I'm crazy lucky, Naruto said as he popped all the balloons. Which ones do you want? He asked them.
I'll take the big panda, Julie said happily. The cat, Gwen said as she liked the witch theme and got a black cat. Few minutes later, how's the cotton candy? Naruto asked. Try it yourself, Julie said as she bit into pink cotton candy and kissed Naruto before Gwen did the same with her blue cotton candy and pulled Julie into a kiss. I swear you did that on purpose, Naruto said as he watched them smile at him cutely. Now how's about you two try the orange? He said as he took a big bite and pulled both of them into a kiss.
I could get used to this, Julie said, winking at them. I found that if I embrace my bisexuality things go smoother, Gwen said, making Naruto choke slightly when he heard that. Well, that explains a lot, Naruto said, remembering certain looks Gwen gave Charmcaster in the past. I thought when you and I agreed to this, you knew as I've tried kinda hard to hide how I feel about girls, Gwen said as she blushed. Well, feel free to be who you are, Julie said as she kissed Gwen, and I'll do the same, she said with a sensual smile. I swear you guys are just trying me at this point, Naruto said as he felt all his blood heading in one direction. Good, Gwen said as it was nice to know they had that effect on him. I always wanted to ride the Ferris wheel but didn't want to do it alone, Julie said as she had a small thing with heights.
Well, I don't know if Zed can come on, but we'll ride with you, Naruto said as Zed was stuffing her face with corndogs and whatever food she could find.
Maybe we could have some fun up there, Gwen said as she and Julie shared a smile.
I don't know who's worse, you or my mom, Naruto said.
I take that as a compliment, Gwen said proudly. Few minutes later, Naruto was enjoying a make-out session with Julie before turning to Gwen, with the two occasionally making out with each other, enjoying each other's time on the Ferris wheel. Meanwhile, Zed yawned as she scratched her neck before she noticed a black and green bumper car rolling towards the Ferris wheel before beginning to howl.
Whoa, wait, Naruto said as he heard Zed's howling and looked down, seeing the bumper car. Oh come on, not now. He thought not needing an alien now.
What is that? Julie said, seeing the bumper car with no driver. Out of control bumper car? Gwen said, trying to come up with a decent lie. Then how is it moving? Julie asked her. Julie, promise me you won't freak out, Naruto said as he transformed into Jetray and dived down. You wanna fill me in? Julie said to Gwen. Sure, ain't like I have a choice now, Gwen said, silently cursing Naruto for ditching her and wished she thought of it. Few minutes later, I have been getting my ass handed to me by the dog equivalent of upgrade, Naruto said, wondering how this happened. Ship, the little mechamorph said as Zed sniffed him.
What do you want, little guy, as so far you've kinda ruined my date, Naruto asked as the mechamorph began moving and acted as if he was leading Naruto.
I think it wants you to follow it, Julie said to him. Lead the way, boy, Naruto said as they followed him. Ship began to run away with the group following him. Few minutes later. That's what you were wanting to bring me to? Your friend needed help? Naruto asked, seeing another mechamorph trapped in a ship that was beeping.
It's gonna blow, Gwen said. I hate my luck sometimes, Naruto said as it got odd sometimes. He then transformed into Homungosaur and reached inside the ship, pushing through the pane of the force field and pulled the mechamorph out along with the bomb and threw it high up and shielded the girls and pets when the explosion went off.
The explosion is over, Julie said as Naruto was still holding her and Gwen. Oh, right, Naruto said, scratching the back of his head nervously. But you can hug us whenever you want, Gwen said as she definitely wouldn't have minded. Guess Dad wasn't kidding, redheads really are fiery. Naruto said as his father told him that when he was very young. 30 minutes later, when the mechamorph came to, they helped repair his ship and he left, leaving ship with them. Why did you record that? Gwen asked curiously. He had a lot of smuggled goods, he may want ship back, so I like to be ready in advance. With shady people like that make deals, Naruto said as he liked to be ready. Can I keep him? Julie asked curiously as she held the dog mechamorph.
This feels very familiar, Naruto thought, looking at Zed. He certainly seems to like you. Gwen said as she didn't have a problem with it.
I can say he's ours, but you have to take your time with him too, Julie said as she petted him, hearing him purr.
Well, it's real late, we should get home, Naruto said as they were kinda pushing it with how late it was. Yeah, before my parents kill me, Julie said as if they didn't hurry now she'd be grounded for a while.
Check this out, Naruto said as he pressed a button on his keys and suddenly his car came to them. Nice. Gwen said, impressed. The car had some kinda AI or autopilot. I'm sure if I go a little fast I can get you two home before 10. Naruto said, so besides running into ship and that guy, not bad of a date? He asked curiously.
Not bad, I had the time of my life, Julie said as this was a lot more exciting than she could have hoped.
Well, that's great. When I was first coming down I was nervous as hell, Naruto said, rubbing the back of his head. Well, hopefully, this will make the future dates easier, Julie said as she pulled him into a long deep French kiss before heading to his car with a little sway in her hips. I really do have the luck of the devil, Naruto thought happily as Gwen did the same thing Julie did.
Next day, where the hell did she go? Naruto said as Gwen wasn't home even after she left school and this was one of her free days. Naruto's eyes flashed orange as he tried to find her via her mana. Aw crap, Naruto said as he found her. Few minutes later, Naruto stood outside Max's RV wondering what he was gonna say to Gwen, as even here he could feel Gwen's sadness. After a few minutes Naruto walked inside and saw Gwen laying on her old bed, a few tears coming down from her eyes.
Hey, Naruto said as he sat on the bed and lied next to her, looking up at the same crappy ceiling she was. I miss him, Gwen said as she still felt the massive heartache knowing her grandpa was gone. Same, Naruto said as he may have not shown it on the outside, but he felt the same as Gwen but tended to show his pain in a more angrier fashion.
Whenever I was down, Grandpa took me to a secret fishing spot he knew. I once caught a tiny fish but he told me to let it go. I put up such a fuss, guess I had a hard time letting go, Gwen said as she reminisced and laughed a little at that memory. If you want, we could go there. Make it a picnic, Naruto said with a smile.
That'd be nice, Gwen said, letting out a sad smile as they laid there not saying a word, enjoying the other's company.
Next day, what the hell, Naruto said as he spotted a tree that had a heart with Max plus Verdona on it. Verdona, have you ever heard of a Verdona before? He asked Gwen. No, you, Gwen asked him. Honestly, for a while I thought Xylene may have been your grandmother, but maybe it was this chick, Naruto said as he remembered Max's old flame.
What's up with these weird flowers? Kevin asked as he was no specialist, but they didn't look native to Earth.
These flowers were made from mana, Naruto said as he examined it. Can't trace actual energy, he said, as their energy would make it disintegrate and wither.
Do you think my grandmother made them? Gwen asked in curiosity. Probably, if we wait she may show up, Naruto said as it was another anodite who made these, and Naruto knew his mother's mana like the back of his hand. 2 days later. I swear if I have to wait one more minute, Kevin said, bored out of his mind.
You'll still have nothing better to do, man, Naruto said as Kevin was just messing around with his car lately and trying to gather intel about the Denalians, both of which haven't shown any results.
I have to use the bathroom, Gwen said as she had been holding it in for hours. Plenty of trees around, Kevin said as he received a slap to the head as she left. Less attitude, man, she's not one to be tested, Naruto said as Gwen left the car. Few minutes later, there, Naruto said, seeing a familiar pink light around Max's tree. Finally, Kevin said, tired of waiting, wanting some action. Hey, Naruto said, getting the attention of an elderly woman wearing a cloak. Are you Verdona? He asked, getting silence. My friend asked you a question, Kevin said, taking her hood off. Such a rotten kid, go away, the woman sending as her hand glowed pink and sent Kevin flying.
Okay, now you're making me mad. Naruto said as he wasn't going to just take someone attacking his friends lightly and transformed into Jetray. Look, I just want to talk, he said.
Not in the mood, sweetie, the woman said as she threw a pink sphere at him. I hope this works, Naruto thought as his eyes glowed orange and a barrier came over him. Whoa, didn't think that'd work as alien, he said as he didn't think his mana powers would work in alien form. Do that again. The woman said in surprise. Okay, now let's see if both work, Naruto said to himself as one hand glowed orange and the other glowed black before he threw two spheres at her. The woman simply raised her hand and made a pink barrier that stopped the attack easily. Okay, might be out of my league magic-wise, Naruto thought as he had only seen his mother do that, and if this woman was in that same class he was screwed. Are you perhaps related to Kushina? The woman asked with a smile on her face. You know my mom? Naruto said, his theory becoming more and more real. Know her? Ha! I trained her personally, I am Verdona, Verdona said, having a fond smile on her face. Kevin jumped up from behind, but a pink barrier came in front of him, causing him to slam into it. Ow! He said. Verdona looked over to see Gwen with a glowing pink hand. 2 anodites, she said in surprise. Later at Gwen's. Yeah, I'm gonna say no, Naruto said. As much as he liked to train, leaving the Earth when they were the last line of defense wasn't a good plan for anyone.
Same, teacher, Kushina said as she arrived here moments ago.
Verdona and Kushina had their eyes flare, and everyone felt the very air become heavy and barely breathable as the women with incredible powers stared the other down.
You anodites these days, with all these colors, Verdona said.
There's different colors than red, pink and orange? Naruto asked curiously. Oh yeah. Kushina said with a chuckle. Who wants to be like everyone else, she said with a laugh. I need time to think, Gwen said as she ran up to her room with Naruto following. You take them, there will be words and anodite blood flying, Kushina said as she glared at Verdona.
I love it when she visits, Gwen's mom said as she enjoyed watching this very much.
And I thought my family drama was interesting, Kevin said as this was next level kinda stuff. With Naruto. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but we need you here, Gwen, I need you, Naruto said as they'd be massively screwed otherwise. I know, but this could be a massive thing for me. I could learn how to do things nobody could see coming. Gwen said, wanting him to just say he wanted her here and that he more than just liked her. My mom could teach you, Gwen. I don't know what I'd be if you weren't in my life, Naruto said as Gwen would be gone for a lifetime if she did this.
They sat together on that roof looking at the stars a little differently than most people would in their situation. Gwen held Naruto's hand. Okay, I won't go, I'll take the training from your mother instead, she said as she saw his face light up with happiness.
Naruto smiled as he held her chin and pulled her into a kiss. Few minutes later. I swear, are we sure the hybrid are the bigger threat? Kevin said as Naruto's mom and Verdona were literally making sparks appear in the very air after Naruto and Gwen said no to her. It's a mother thing, Natalie said, seemingly unfazed. Who would win, by the way? Kevin asked Naruto. Smart money's on my mother, but Verdona did teach, but who knows, Naruto said as this was getting crazy. They could learn how to have fun and do whatever they want, Verdona said. They want to be here and together, the Earth needs them, Kushina said, respecting their choices and proud of the responsibility they were taking up.
Enough, Naruto shouted as he glowed orange and took on a full anodite look. Read my lips, old woman, we are staying, he shouted, looking at her dead in the eye. Remember, Naruto, you have minutes in that form at best, Kushina said as Naruto knew how to transform but was still years away from controlling it. I don't care, she's not taking my girlfriend, Naruto said. You can go full anodite at such a young age. Perhaps she could do better here if she has you for a mate, and the possibility for my great-grandbabies to have the spark could be great, Verdona said in excitement.
Oh my god, Naruto said, changing back. Women wanting their kids to have kids, he thought to himself as he had enough from his mother.
With that Extinct Species Act giving you the legal right to have a harem, I could have many great-grandbabies with sparks to spoil, Verdona said as she loved the thought.
Oh, for the love of God, Gwen said, pinching her nose with a blush. What did she say about an act? And a harem? Frank asked Gwen. Later, Naruto said as he and Kevin ran through the door and made it to the car, hitting the pedal to the metal. Yeah, my cue to leave, Kushina said, not wanting to be here as well. Gwen mentally growled as she was left to explain everything to her parents.
Few days later, Kevin, this for you or me, Naruto said as they were fighting a bulky robot.
Hard to tell, we piss off a lot of people, Kevin said as it was honestly heads or tails about who sent the Tachaden robot for either of them. How's about less talking and more helping me? Gwen said as this thing was smashing every barrier she made to keep it in after she sliced its hand off. Hold on, Naruto said as he transformed, goop. He said, his voice sounding a little bubbly and slurry, and soon went inside the robot, causing it to expand. 1 hour later. Never again, do you hear me? Kevin said as he cleaned his car. It's clean. Gwen said. Naruto was busy getting nectarine smoothies for all three of them when suddenly someone knocked it all over his shit. Two people were laughing, revealing Cash and JT. Whoops. Hey JT, looks like somebody had accident, Cash said sarcastically. Yeah. Need me to get you a sippy cup, Naruto, or maybe a diaper? JT said before the two laughed.
I swear you two are still pulling this crap. Grow up, it's been years since elementary school, and if you hadn't noticed, you clowns were not all the same little kids you two could mess with. I'd normally kick your ass, but you're not even worth it. I mean, seriously, spilling my drink. I can't believe you're still the same pathetic loser who has to torment others just to feel good about himself. It's just sad, Cash. I can't believe once I was afraid of you, Naruto said as he wiped himself off.
Everyone in the Mr. Smoothie sitting area cheered for him. You just got way more attractive, Gwen said as she kissed his cheek, making him blush. Kevin chuckled as he rolled his eyes. Few hours later. When I find those two, I'm killing them, Kevin said as he looked at his car that Cash and JT pushed down the hill. At least they didn't touch mine, Naruto said as that would have been a death sentence. Naruto, Gwen said, pointing at his car that had many scratches and dents in it along with a cracked window and popped tires. I'm going to kill them, Naruto said, furious as this car was his baby. Next day. Ooh, they better be glad that I have extra things of orange car paint, if I ever see them. Ooh, Naruto said to himself as he fixed his car with Kevin. Is she only here because you're not wearing your shirt? Kevin asked, handing him a wrench. What do you think? Naruto asked him as he began replacing his popped tires with new ones. Gwen blushed from embarrassment of it being that obvious. Suddenly JT came running into the garage panting. There you are. I came to warn you, there's something really wrong with Cash, he said. Aw, good, you saved us the trouble of tracking your ass down, Naruto said as he cracked his bones. Look man, I just came to warn you. Something is seriously wrong with Cash. He said he was gonna teach you a lesson, JT said as he backed up slightly. Where is he? I get first dibs, Kevin said as they wrecked his car. The old mannequin factory, we hang out there sometimes, okay, all the time, JT said admittedly. Got it, Kevin said as he ran off. Whatever happened to you, JT? Back when we were young, you and me ate paste together, then you started hanging out with Cash, Naruto asked as they were friends in kindergarten and a few grades up. Cash is Cash, what do you want from me? JT said, loyalty for one, Gwen said as Naruto never betrayed anyone's trust. Look, I just came to warn you, JT said. Yeah, cause your friend turned on you, Gwen said, using the word friend extremely loosely. Look, I say we wait for Kevin, let him have some fun with Cash first, Naruto said. Few hours later. This is where you hang out? It's trashed, Naruto asked, surprised the building wasn't condemned. When the three went inside, they found Kevin with a metal arm and some stone covering his body, but most showing his normal body. Kevin, Naruto said, racing over seeing his injured friend. It's not as bad as it looks, Kevin said as he lied. Dude, he broke through your shell, Naruto said as Kevin's stone shell was broken through. JT, is there anything you left out? Gwen asked him, giving him a glare. Well, after Cash trashed your cars, he took a glove, and now he can't take it off. It's like it's possessing him. I'm telling you, he's not himself, JT said. He called you out, man. 3 feet o'clock, Mr. Smoothie, Kevin said, giving him the message. Okay, time to settle this, Naruto said as he walked off. My money is on Naruto, Kevin said, joking through the pain. 15 minutes later. You guys thought I was so funny. Who's laughing now? Cash shouted at some of the people in the Mr. Smoothie parking lot as only his face was shown from wearing armor like the Tachaden robot. Hey, what is your problem? Naruto said as he approached him. I swear you're worse than I thought. You're a toddler throwing a temper tantrum, he said to him, unfazed. You're my problem, Uzumaki. But now I've got power and nobody can stop me, not even your friend Levin, Cash said. That's right, I kicked Kevin Levin's butt, and you're next, Uzumaki. He said, glaring at him. I'm not going to fight you, Cash, Naruto said as he tilted his head to the left, dodging a headshot. Cash. JT called out, getting his attention. Look, we were supposed to be having fun. This isn't you, man, he said, trying to reach his friend. You ratted me out, Cash said as he fired at him, only for Gwen to make a barrier. Some friend you got there, Gwen said, bringing up her point from earlier. Cash charged at them only to get tackled by Naruto as Chromastone. You can't beat me, Cash, not like this, Chromastone said as he blasted him. You think just because you're some kind of freak, I'm gonna stop? I'm never gonna stop, ever, Cash said as he slugged him in the face, knocking him down before he grabbed his leg and began slamming him into some car before throwing him at the trailer of a truck. Oh, I'm the freak, this coming from the guy who has been attacking everyone, Naruto said as he blasted him with a rainbow-like beam. Cash groaned before charging in the two locked arms. Why are you doing this? Why me? Naruto asked him, wondering what his massive problem with him was. Why not? Cash said cockily. I'll show you why not, Naruto said as his crystal glowed before he forced Cash onto his knees. It doesn't have to be this way, Cash. Neither one of us wins anything by fighting. Just stop, he said as there wasn't a point to this, but Naruto couldn't let him go on this rampage. I can't, Cash said as wires shot out from the faceplate. Yes, you can, JT said encouragingly. No, the machine wants to fight. Look, it's already fixing itself, Cash said as it tried to cover its face. You're the toughest kid in school. You're not going to let a bucket of bolts tell you what to do, JT said. How do I get it to stop? Cash asked. You're the boss of the machine, not it, JT said. Cash suddenly began to struggle as he regressed, reversing the transformation process before throwing the glove off. I'll take that, Naruto said, removing the glove before throwing it and blasting it mid-air, destroying it. I feel like that time I entered that chimichanga eating contest, Cash said as he felt very sick. I got you.